Happy International Women's Day. It's yet another day that we have, and we're celebrating women. Not only women, my guest here makes me understand that we are celebrating ladies, girls. Yani, every female gender, right?
Yes.
So it's our day, and I'm happy to be a woman. I don't know whether you are.
I am proud to be a woman.
Yeah. And since it's our day, here at India Onwards with me, your host, Caroline Nyakazi. Every time you see me, you know that I bring you interesting conversations. And today, I have a beautiful lady who has joined me here, Emily, who will be taking us through women with disabilities. I don't want to say much before I even introduce her, because I don't want to introduce her much. Maybe I may go wrong. So, Emily, maybe you can tell us, who is Emily to start with?
First, thank you for hosting us. Thank you for hosting us today. It's a very beautiful day. We are celebrating women in the Republic of Kenya, in the entire continent, in the entire world. My name is Emily Muriguh. I'm an advocate by profession. I manage a firm called DNA Associates, Legal Associates, and I am the Chief Executive Officer to an NGO called the Democracy and Legal Aid Center. The Democracy and Legal Aid Center is an organization that represents the interests of the marginalized in the society, and they are the persons with disability, people from the marginalized community, and women.
Okay,
yes.
Welcome very much.
Thank you so
Emily.
much.
At Science TV,
Asante.
I describe it as a home of inclusion.
And actually what we do at the Democracy and Legal Aid Center, we foster dignity and inclusivity.
Wow.
For all.
You're the right place. Really welcome home.
Asante sana.
So before I go wrong, since now I'm dealing with a lawyer here,
Okay.
before I start saying Happy International Women's Day, I know we always misuse these days, with just hashtags, Happy International Women's Day, Happy Women's Day, and then we're just there posting photos of our mothers, our sisters. But what exactly do we celebrate on Women's Day?
The virtue of being a woman. It goes beyond Valentine's. It goes beyond Mother's Day. It goes beyond Happy Birthday, a day where we were born. It is a day where we celebrate this gender that brings uniqueness and a lot of love. It is women who give birth. It is women who feel and procreate this world.
Yeah.
We appreciate and respect the role of the male gender, but multipliers are women. That is the uniqueness about women.
Yeah.
You give us joy, we multiply it.
Yeah.
You give us goodness, we multiply it. We are the homemakers. Of course, you don't bring us anything bad, we will not multiply. We are wise.
Sure.
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah.
Just to share with you something. Last week I met a lady from Algeria, and it was so interesting that when our conversation began, the first question she asked me was, what's the position of women in this country? Okay, I was first like, what have you observed? What have you seen? They were saying she was just in Kenya for like a week. So I was like, where is this question coming from? And I was like, okay, my answer was, we are not yet there, but I can say there's an improvement, yes. Because I can see that we have people like you advocating for the rights of women. And when I look at the political world, at least we have a number of ladies compared to the past. When it comes to other positions in the industries, at least I can say nowadays we have ladies who are holding these positions which were described as male dominated in the past. But I feel there's a group which has been left out. As much as we're fighting for women, do you remember women with disability? That was my question. And I think the answer is we are not yet there. Because as much as we are fighting for women, do we remember there are women with disabilities who can also do the same thing that we're doing? Yeah. So I don't know what you have to say. Are we yet there? Mama, we have a long journey to do.
We are on a journey. And it is a journey that we are all stakeholders, and it starts as us as women, where we need to be empowered by forums like this. And first is to thank you for holding such a beautiful forum where we create awareness and we sensitize the women on this is our right.
Yeah.
Article 27 of the Constitution talks about equality for all. we have equal access to the law, we have equal protection by that law.
Yeah.
So first is for us as women to carry ourselves as equals to the men, in terms of appreciating that this law protects us all.
Yeah,
we have
true.
equal access to justice, just as men have equal access to justice.
Yeah.
Equal access to health services, equal access to public spaces. All these rights that are enshrined in our different law are for all of us inclusively. So the minute we accept that and we take that in, we'll stop looking at ourselves as an inferior gender.
Yeah.
Equal access to education, that basically takes us to, once I get to school, or rather my parents are able to take me to school as they will take my brother.
Yeah.
Once I'm in a position where I want to choose a career, I know I can do this just as my brother can do this.
Yeah.
As you sit as a career person in your profession, you appreciate that you bring on board on a platform of equality.
Yeah.
You're not being looked down upon because you're a woman. It
sure.
starts with us as women. Once we take that up, it becomes easier to break those barriers that are there. Of course, there are very many barriers on matters equality. Equality to accessing that education, equality to accessing even the political spaces, as you've mentioned. We have grown. We have now 4 lady governors who are women. That is growth.
Yeah, true.
We have so many elected members of parliament who are women, county members of the county assemblies as well. We have the Chief Justice, who is a lady, and the Deputy Chief Justice, who is a lady. So the judiciary is led by women. Let us appreciate those milestones, but let's look forward to empowering ourselves. And for those of us who have information, we create that awareness. Yeah. Thank you for giving us that platform to create that awareness.
Thank you.
Karibu.
Welcome. So, you've also said that it's a journey and we're getting somewhere. But women with disabilities, are they being given the same chance like any other woman?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Because it's not just even women with disability, it is all persons with disability. If you have a physical disability, for instance, mobility challenges, one will say, I am unable to host you because of this.
Yeah, true.
There are those employers who are unable to take you up because of your disability. There are schools that refuse children because of their disability. It's an area that we need to come to terms with and first agree that it's first about humanity. That persons with disability are persons like we are.
Yeah, true.
We need to respect their decisions and allow them to make their decisions. We need to take them up as human beings, just as we are human beings.
Yeah.
That is what equality is all about. And it goes beyond even persons with disability. We remember we even have caregivers, mothers who are caregivers to children with disability.
True.
Someone who will come and ask for instance, I'm a mother to a child with disability and I'm requesting for some minutes extra time to go and attend to that child, or I don't have a place to leave that child, I would love to come with that child. Is the environment conducive? It's a conversation where we need to come to sit all together and agree that we are all one. We need to look at each other as one. That is what inclusivity is all about. They are not special than us and we are not special than them.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point, because I think when I've seen even online on social media handles when ladies are even looking for jobs just like nannies, and then a lady will be like, I'm a caregiver, I have a child with disability, and so anyone who is willing to offer me a job as a nanny, I'm just requesting you allow me to come with my kid. And when you try to follow up, you see that this lady has really tried, but no one is offering her a job. I'm sure jobs are out there. I'm sure a lot of people are looking for nannies. But just because she said she's a caregiver and she's becoming this kid, and the kid is with disability, now it becomes like an ish or something.
And unfortunately, even as we look at the employer, we need to remember the family. Because if I am a mother with a child with disability, and I do not have someone, an auntie, a sister, a parent, a relative I can leave my child with.
Yeah.
So I am being forced to transit and look for employment with that child. It starts at the family level.
Yeah, true.
Let us inculcate a culture of love. As we are bringing our children who are children with disability, we bring them up with love even amongst the siblings, so that the siblings get to know that we as children, we are brother and sister. We love each other, we play together, we sleep together, we school together. Now it moves from home, it goes to the education system. We are calling for an all-inclusive education system, so that the children get, it's not like children with disability have a separate class, or so the other children school in a separate class. These other ones have a different curriculum, they have different times to playing. So you see, that way you're not promoting inclusivity. The other children will be asking, and mommy, why don't we play with that one? Why doesn't she come to our birthday parties? As we look at the environment where it is an education environment, we also need to look at the neighborhood. As neighborhood, what is the Nyumba Kumi initiative that inculcates good morals and promotes inclusivity for children with disability and persons with disability? And on International Women's Day, we're also focusing on women, girls with disability. So once we accommodate our neighbors, we accommodate that she's coming with her child, and her child can play with my child. It is okay for them to play together. It is okay for them to share snacks. Those small things, when you're passing through, you're cautious over that child, because you don't, for instance, it is an autistic child who cannot interpret that a car is coming, I should leave the road. The child may be coming towards the car. You don't come shouting, come finding out, okay, and trying to teach the child with love. We need to nurture a culture of love amongst us that will promote inclusivity for all. That goes ahead to the point where we'll be electing leaders as leaders. You're not seeing this person as a person with disability, you're seeing the person as a leader. So when it comes to election, we'll not just have persons with disability are only taking slots that are under the affirmative action. These ones are slots for persons with disability. No, my MP, my MCA, my chief, my doctor. Let me ask you something. Would you be comfortable being injected by a nurse who is blind?
Of course.
You would?
Yes, I would, because I have interacted with them. But
Exactly.
to be honest, I'm sure someone who doesn't have the knowledge or hasn't interacted with a person with disability or with visual impairment, I think they'd be like not so comfortable. Exactly.
No, we need, now once we have an education system that is all inclusive, it grows with us. You see how children, when they're children, they play together. Until now, when we become adults, that's when you realize, oh, by the way, I'm of this tribe, and you're of this tribe, we should not talk to each other. But when you were kids, you were so good friends. That is the culture we need to inculcate amongst us, from us being children to us being adults. A matter of inclusivity for all.
So as much as we're complaining that the space is not inclusive, we must admit that we are failing back there. The background, actually, we are the one who are failing ourselves, because if we are not embracing inclusivity at home, then how will it be spread out there?
It won't, because our children are imitators of who we are. Our society imitates who we are, or we build the society. Okay, so thank you very much, Emily, for that interesting conversation. I'm sure you said a lot, and a lot of people there have learned a lot, something they didn't even know. At least now I've known that when I talk about ladies, it's not like I'm not referring to even girls. There's girls, there's ladies, there's women. Let us invest in our women so that we can be able to have a better tomorrow.
Thank you very much for coming, and I celebrate you today.
I celebrate you too.
As we mark World International Women's Day.
Thank you.
I don't have a flower to celebrate, but happy International Women's Day.
And you too.
Thank you very much for coming.